When you hear AI, does it feel exciting or does it feel intimidating? Everyone kept saying AI is the future. Companies are talking about it nonstop. Even firms like Accenture plans to lay off staff who aren't able to reskill on AI amid a broader restructuring strategy. And honestly, that can feel a little bit intimidating. So instead of asking, do I need to learn AI? I think a better question is, how can AI help me in really small, practical ways without making my life more complicated? If you have struggled with this too, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm CY, and on this channel, I share more on finance and productivity. So if you like this kind of content, do subscribe to my channel. Now, let's dive in. Just to set expectations, this is not a deep dive. No coding, no fancy workflows, no top 50 prompts you need to memorize. This video is for anyone who feels late to AI, feels overwhelmed, or just haven't found a reason to actually use it yet. Today is about getting started, not getting perfect. So, why Gemini? There are a lot of AI tools out there, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, you can name it. But for today, we're keeping it simple and using Gemini. Why? Because most of us already use Google every single day. Gmail, Google Docs, Google Calendar. Gemini is basically Google's AI assistant that lives inside that ecosystem. So instead of learning a brand new tool, you're just adding a bit of intelligence to tools you already know. And that's why it's such an easy entry point for beginners. So, what Gemini actually does in layman terms. At its core, Gemini is an AI assistant that can read and summarize things, help you write or rephrase, pull information from the web, and connect to your Google apps when you let it. You can use it for free on the web or on the phone. And if you want deeper integrations, like acting directly on emails or calendar, that's optional as well. Nothing fancy required to start. Here's the simplest way to think about Gemini or any AI assistants. It's like a second brain you can talk to. Not something that replaces your thinking, just something that helps you get unstuck, save time, or clean up your messy thoughts. And with that in mind, let me show you 7 simple ways to use it. You don't need to remember all of them, and even if only one sticks, this video did its job. Now, the first use case, summarizing long videos. Ever stumbled upon a YouTube video which is way too long, but you are quite keen to know more about it? But because it's too long, you start to lose interest in it, and eventually you save it and you don't even go look at it anymore, right? With Gemini, you can now just paste the link into Gemini and get a recap. Here's an example on how we can do it. Say we're interested in this particular video, but do not have time to watch for 46 minutes. What we can do is to paste this into Gemini with this prompt. To summarize this YouTube video with the link attached into 5 clear bullet points and tell us exactly at what timestamp the speaker mentioned about, say, risk, right? Now, what it does is that it goes through the entire video, then it looks into the 5 key points as per our prompt and tell you what are the key talking points. And based on this, you can then decide if you are still keen to watch it. If you do, there's also timestamp in the video that you can just go directly to areas that you are keen on learning more about. This is incredibly useful for finance videos, earning breakdowns, or any market updates. This is entirely powerful because you get the key ideas without watching the entire thing. The second use case is about turning articles into executive summaries. The same idea as the first video which I shared earlier, but with articles of report. Say I am interested in learning more about the technology trends outlook by McKinsey and Company, but it's currently 108 pages. I do not have time to go in depth into every single pages, but would like to know more about a high-level recap and tricky takeaway as a beginner. Now what I can do is I can go to Gemini, upload the exact file over here, then put a prompt here saying, give me a 3-sentence summary and 3 key takeaways for a beginner. Then what it does is that it will go through the entire documents and literally based on your prompt, give you a 3-sentence summary and 3 key takeaway for a beginner. So if you look at the documents here, it shows you the 3 key focus area that you should focus on. And based on these documents again, you can then decide whether you want to go in depth or so forth. The prompt can be something more targeted, but for this video, I'm going to go more generic at this broad level. This is great for long reads where you just want the high-level insights. The third use case is about how we can use Gemini to help you in terms of your planning. Say you are planning a trip to Japan. Planning a trip can be very time-consuming where there are various sources of data out there in the net. And typically it runs through having multiple tabs open, scrolling around, watching YouTube videos. So instead of bouncing around blogs and Google Maps, what we can do is that we can prompt Gemini. It's a very simple way, right? Plan a 3-day foodie trip to Tokyo. Create a markdown table with columns for time, activity, recommended dish, and estimated budget. So if you look at the outcome here, Gemini will give you a very concise 3-day foodie trip based on your prompt, telling you where to go and also the budgets of each of this store as well. And if it doesn't like this output, you can ask further prompts. You can ask them to change things like, can you replace raw food with cooked food and so forth as well. And it works perfectly. The fourth use case is about using Gemini to learn new concepts, treating them as a personal tutor. If something doesn't really click or you have no clarity on, you can ask Gemini to explain it differently. For example, I am someone who are not clear on what compound interest is. I can ask Gemini to explain compound interest to me like I'm a 10-year-old. So what it does is that it will literally explain the logic to me like I'm 10 years old, using a magic penny as an example. And now, instead of going through the long, detailed jargons, you can literally learn it through simple terms. This is amazing for investing concepts, insurance, or anything that sounds more complex than it actually is. Now, the fifth use case is about how we can use Gemini to create or edit image based on text. You can generate visuals by describing them. Something like this. I will prompt Gemini to create a cinematic image of a futuristic workspace on a balcony at night. So what it does is that it will use its language model to really just curate a prompt based on my requirements. And here you go. And if it doesn't like it, you can ask for further prompts. Replace this, change this, add this, and so forth. The next features about this is that apart from just creating image, you can also ask Gemini to help you to edit image. Say you have a picture of a dog beside a bicycle, but you doesn't like the background. And I would want Gemini to remove the background in this photo and change it into a background in China. So what it does is that it will remove the background in the current photo and replace it with something that resembles China. Yeah, here you go. The sixth and perhaps the most used case of Gemini is to write better messages or emails. If your thoughts are messy, just dump everything into Gemini and it will help you to restructure your entire thoughts. Let's say I am writing to my landlord. My thoughts are, my aircon is broken, it's hot, I fixed it twice, but it's broken again. I need you to fix it tomorrow. I'll ask Gemini to rewrite it professionally so that it sounds better and more professional. So what it does is that it helps you to craft something more formal and give you multiple options: professional and direct, short and action-oriented, and so forth. The seventh use case, which I find extremely useful for someone who wants to get up to speed on what's happening in the market, is to leverage on Gemini to get quick market briefings. If you want to stay informed about the market without going through various news and don't have the time to even do so, what you can leverage Gemini on is to ask them to look through the entire net and give you a summary of the top 3 biggest news stories in the tech market for the last 24 hours. Then what it does is that it will go through the entire Google portal, news, website, etc. as well to really give you the top 3 biggest tech market stories in the last 24 hours. And you can do it every day to get up to speed on what's happening in the market. It's a very simple way to stay updated without feeling information overload. If this video made AI feels a little less intimidating, give it a like. It helps more than you think. And if you want more content around finance, productivity, and using tools practically, subscribe to our channel.